Changemakers, and welcome to The Core, sponsored by Red Apple Edco. This is your Everything Education podcast. We talk about current events, books to read. We interview education leaders, hear their stories, learn from their biggest lessons, and they share what they wish you knew about what it means to be in education today. I'm your host, Dr. Kia Turner. Buckle up for small seeds of inspiration that can lead to big changes in your classroom practice. Let's take a bite out of today's guest. Hi, you guys. It's Dr. Kia again at a standing table, leaning over, talking to you with John Eick, who is the president of CapCUE.
I'm the president of the CapCUE board. We're a CUE affiliate in California, right? So CUE is this huge, probably the largest ed tech consortium of PD in California. I think 20,000 people a year attend some type of CUE professional development, and we're an affiliate. So we're the Sacramento region. We call CapCUE because it's the capital of California, and I am the CapCUE board president.
And also superintendent of this particular school.
That's correct. I'm executive director, superintendent of Westlake Charter School right here in Sacramento, California. About 1,000 kids, kindergarten through 8th grade. I work directly for an amazing board of directors, and I have an incredible principal that works for me and 2 fantastic directors, and about 50 teachers, about 110 employees total. It's a really special place, this place.
And if that wasn't enough, because we're not done, he also helped design this facility, which if you saw the Periscope, if you haven't checked it out, you need to. And if you did, then you understand why my mouth is on the floor. This is an amazing building, set of buildings.
Yeah. It's funny because we're meeting today at an Edcamp. And if you don't know what an Edcamp is, it's an unconference where you come to this conference, but there's no presenter, right? And so the smartest person in the room is the room. So you come to these rooms and you go like, hey, what do you know? Well, this place is 84,000 square feet. It was $29.4 million bond funded, right? But the deal with this place is that it was crowdsourced. I mean, I certainly know designer, and I'm hardly even a teacher. I mean, I've been an administrator for so long, I couldn't teach your class. So like we spent about 1.5 years really crowdsourcing our teachers and being like, hey, what do you want? Came up with these themes. They're like, hey, we want it to look timeless. We want natural light. And we want really this no front of the room concept where like, if you pull down that screen in the front of the room, that's always the front of the room. But we want flexible furniture and everything on wheels, everything mobile so that like I can move the TV here, I can put it over here, I can use it for small group. It was a crowdsourced deal. So I didn't design anything.
You see the energy, right?
I just facilitated.
You see the energy. So I don't want to hear anything else about me being super excited about education because there are clearly my counterpoints present in other states.
I'm the California version.
There you go. I love it because normally this is the energy I carry.
I love it. I mean, I drink a lot of coffee. That might be it too. But
me too.
I get fired up about being on the edge and doing something different.
Yes.
I'm probably the luckiest educator I know because I've got, some flexibility and some ability to innovate and stay nimble and really listen to what's happening and then adjust. So it's cool, man.
I love that. Okay, we're going to jump into, you guys know I asked 5 questions because I'm on Screencastify Lite and have exactly 10 minutes. So we're going to get to it. Okay. Number 1, why do you teach? Or in your case, why do you choose to continue to lead in the education space?
Well, I'm not going to lie. Like my kids go to this school. Like, I was 3 beautiful children.
The best.
My wife works here. Like my wife is the director of student support services. She's like the most amazing educator I've ever known.
Yeah.
In fact, she's a founding teacher of this organization. I've been an educator for 20 years now. This is my 20th year.
Yeah.
And I guess if you knew me, you'd be like, hey, you do what you do. It fits you. It's perfect for me. I love the impact. I love the local impact of a child, but I also like the impact of the community. And I've been in this neighborhood for 20 years. We have a very diverse community. Our zip code is recognized as the most diverse zip code in the nation in 2006, 9 and 11. You pop into the grocery store as a 20-year educator and you bump into grandmas who are like, Mr. Eick, you may not remember me, but you saved my kid 19 years ago. Or like, I see a former student who comes to my school and enrolls their kid in my school now.
Yeah, that's powerful.
There's something about being like a multi-generational and a full community, about 100,000 people in our community. And to know, I must know 10,000 people through this gig, moms and dads and kids and cousins. And hey, you taught my older brother when you were a teacher. The impact is so cool. I'm a familial person. Like I like family, and I feel like being part of the education family, you get to be a family with your colleagues, but then you get to be family with your families.
I love that.
That's
and
cool.
That's something that I'm taking away and putting in the bio. I type for you. Okay. Number 2, what is one thing you're doing in your practice? Because you're not in a classroom. What's one thing that's happening in your practice or at your level of the education world right now that really excites you? Something you see going on that you're like, yes, I want more of this.
I can do the whole 10 minutes on that, right? Stuff I'm excited about. I mean, one thing that I'm personally excited about is the whole model of shared leadership, like I was talking about.
Yes.
I mean, the deal here, right, is that if one guy's sitting in a room with a closed door making decisions, you got a bad decision-making matrix, So I think education is such a pendulum swing and change-focused industry that we're always managing change. And if you don't help your people manage change by making them part of the change, you're going to be the change. Like, get out of here. So, I mean, that's something I really do. I mean, I have lots of leadership involvement among staff, ad hoc committees that are driving good work, just involving more people in the decision-making and the change management.
And it sounds like you're saying more developing leadership capacity. Yeah, totally, something like a movement you're seeing go on that you're like, I'm completely behind it.
It's very grassrootsy, man. You get people and you go, hey, what's your capacity to lead? Let's put you there. Or what's your capacity to lead? Let's put you there. Mm-hmm. So that's a big deal. Also, I think a big thing for me in education is full inclusion. I believe wholeheartedly and deeply and pedagogically in full inclusion classrooms. When you walk into a classroom here and you got a student with Down syndromes and a student who's gifted and talented, and you got walk into this classroom over here, you got English language learners, students with IEPs, SSTs, 504s, but you wouldn't know because everybody's everybody.
You're getting ahead of me. That leads me to question 3.
Sorry.
What's one resource you think every educator should definitely know about? So when we think about kind of what you're saying about creating classroom learning experiences that are equitable for everybody, what is one resource you think educators definitely need to know about?
I think people ought to be looking into what MTSS stands for, multi-tiered systems of support. A lot of people think it's RTI rebranded, like response to intervention. It's not. It's forcing all of us to take a look at the multi-tiered system of support and say we all own everything that happens in tier 1. Every one of our kids should get what they need in tier 1. That means I have to be designing my classroom as a physical space, as a pedagogical space, as a learning space, as an access space for tier 1. Like push hard on tier 1 because then it creates equity. I mean, this is about equity. Like just because you are gifted and talented, you shouldn't get more education than the kid who's a special education. Like this classroom's got to be designed equitably where all students have full access. And it's a beast. I mean, it's not easy. If you're not doing it, it's hard to learn it. You read some blog posts on really good MTSS programs because I tell you, it will change your life.
You are doing it again. Look, question 4 is what was your last aha moment as a professional where you were like,
you know what? 2 days ago, I was in Giovanna Hernandez's classroom. She's a Spanish teacher. I was doing an observation for Giovanna, maybe one of the best 8th grade lessons I've ever seen in my life. I mean, she just blew me away.
She needs a Periscope thing.
No, she should.
Let the world
as I looked around the classroom, I recognized that student right there. They recently had a MTSS referral for social emotional. We did a risk assessment on him because it looked like there was some depression that was affecting his life. And that girl over there, we know, has had an IEP since kindergarten. And this boy right over here is an English language learner. And he's actually learning his 3rd language because it was a Spanish class. And this kid over here's got a very complicated 504 for behavior. But like, you wouldn't know. The aha was if you build it appropriately and you design your structures in tier 1 to have a UDL, Universal Design for Learning. If you design your classroom culture, and it takes time, if you design your classroom culture around inclusivity, no one coupled up with this kid and was like, oh, I got to be with you. And the kid's got, severe autism and he's like, okay, you're on my team. We're doing our Quizlet. Like, I didn't see one iota of that. And these are 8th graders. So the aha for me was like, hey, man, you build appropriate structures for inclusion and equity, and it's legit. Like it happens. So if somebody's sitting in a staff room going, oh, we couldn't do that. Yes, you can. It's legit.
And it's not just me saying it. Look, he is saying it. It is not just me.
It's happening.
Come visit. Come visit. Last one. In a few words, what is it that you want to put out there about education in Northern California? Like when people think of this region and education and kind of the moves you all are making,
man, I'll tell you.
What's the message you want to put out there in 90 seconds?
It's about being a connected community. I'm part of CapCUE, and we've got about 1,300 people just in our region who are part of this affiliate. Like people are getting connected here, sharing resources. This professional development I'm putting on today is free, and it's people just sharing resources. Like I think in Northern California, we're traveling around, we're looking at each other's practices, we're sharing more than I've ever seen in my 20 years. I'm seeing it happen here because it's crowdsourced. It's the community that's building it. And if people can't get what they need from their district, they're going to other friends and go connect me on Twitter.
Hello from Missouri.
Yeah, I'm seeing more people get PD from Twitter than they got from their old PD model in their district 10 years ago. So I'm telling you, people are getting connected and taking charge of their own professional learning, their own professional growth, and their own professional development. It's not about setting objectives with your administrator. It's about connecting with a partner and being like, hey, what can we learn from each other?
You heard it from John. They're breaking down silos in Northern California. Thank you guys for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Bye. That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to The Core. Wherever you are listening to us, be sure to like our show, subscribe, and share the episode that's meant the most to you. We appreciate every single one of our subscribers, as do our sponsors. We look forward to seeing you next week. You can also check us out on YouTube at Red Apple Edco if you'd like to see more video of these conversations. We have them posted there.